on a trio tales. We have had now 3 solid months of convertibles for summer. Summer is coming to an end, and it is time for my favorite season, which is fall. Fall is fun time. Back when I was in high school, fall was cross-country time. It is my favorite time of the year. So, let's just get these things out of here. And here's the interesting thing, which a lot of, being an automotive enthusiast means you're enthused. And being enthused means things are exciting to you. And today we're going to learn the harsh reality that not everything in the auto industry is really that exciting. You see, for June, we had the Mazda Miata. Very, very strong car for car of the month. Very, very strong car. Convertible, strong, just excellent. It was a story about how one singular person can change the entire idea. The entire idea of what a company stands for. The change of Mazda from stuff like the Mazda, just their fun, nice, cool identity. You know what I mean? The single encapsulation of that. And then Volvo, the re-exploration of the catalyst car, a subject we've talked about previously, which is essentially how one car, not one person, but one car can change the entire everything of an automobile. Like how the Toyota Prius predicted Toyota styling for the next 30 years. Now we've got the Volkswagen EOS. So for June, we had the Miata. For July, my birthday month, we had the Volvo C70, because I love Volvos. And now we have the Volkswagen EOS. And here's the thing, the EOS really is not that complex. We're here to talk about the history, and the thing is, there really is none. Alright, so here's exactly what happened. You got the Peugeot 206, this is, so essentially, let's just start off from a clearer point. This was in the era of hardtop convertibles being extremely popular. It started off with Peugeot. There's an entire video, I believe it's by Corsicar, about hardtop convertibles. You can watch that if you want. Essentially, hardtop convertibles were in hard swing. I think we should bring them back. Now, I'm just gonna go off on a little tangent here, because this video is gonna be short, because there is literally nothing to talk about. Which is, I know you're gonna say, bad idea for a video, but I lined it up intentionally, alright? This Common Quokka Trio Tales is gonna be great. But let me decide, we should bring back hardtop convertibles, because a lot of people are gonna say, oh, well, if you want a convertible, you probably want a regular convertible. Here's the thing, I am an extremely practical person. I drive a Toyota Prius, that's how practical I am. I like its dual, glove compartment thing. I like the way it's styled. I like the extra wide vents. I like practical cars, and the hardtop convertible is the most practical convertible on the planet. First of all, more secure. It's better with weatherproofing, and it's even better for aerodynamics. So I love hardtop convertibles. But in this time, in the 2000s and early 2010s, hardtop convertibles were in full swing. They were swinging so much, like Olivia Rodrigo, they were almost going fully around the bar there. So it was going crazy. And what they saw was stuff like the Peugeot 206 convertible and stuff, and they saw stuff like the Volvo C70. Here's another thing. The Volvo C70, a car that defined the rest of Volvo, was a hardtop convertible. That not only defined Volvo as, just the styling and all that, but it also defined that hardtop convertibles would be more to come. So they saw this happening, and they decided, I'll have one of those. I'll have what she's having, give me a hardtop convertible. So with the Mark V Volkswagen Golf, they said, why don't we make a convertible version of that? Alright, so I already said what happened, but here I've changed the pictures on the screen. So here's what happened. So, in 2003, they came out with the Volkswagen Golf Mark V. And yeah, they were like, this is great. And then I saw the hardtop convertibles. They saw how a lot of the hardtop convertibles were based on hatchbacks. They wanted to have one. They didn't want to make it a Golf, but they wanted to make it based on a Golf. So they said, you want to know what we're going to do? Take a Golf. Take like a base model one that doesn't keep the line for the little black thing, but don't put it there. Take the little fog-like things, turn them upside down, and then give it the headlights out of the Passat. And then boom! Look at that, you got an EOS. EOS is named after the goddess of sky or sun or something. It's some generic name that they just pulled out of the parts bin. And they came out with the Volkswagen EOS in the Frankfurt Motor Show in 2006. That is literally it. They looked at everyone else and said, you want to know what, guys? Nah, I have this phone right here. I think I'm just gonna phone it in. And then they decided, we'll just come out with one of our own. This is gonna be the shortest video ever. That is the whole story. They looked at everyone else, they said, we want one of those, we'll have one of those, how cheap and how fast can we do it? Boom. Got it. And that's proven by the fact that it only had one generation. It was sold all the way up until 2016. Literally, one generation. All the way until 2016. 2016 was the Mark 7. And the Mark 7 was, again, Europe's favorite car, the most popular car on the planet, the most awarded car on the planet. Hats off to the Mark 7. It went all the way to the end of the Mark 5's generation, which wasn't that long. It was like a couple years. Then all the way through Mark 6, and then almost all the way through Mark 7. Alright, sorry for the very awkward long pause there. So because this video is so short, I'm just going to say it. So my computer, it's the M1 MacBook Air, 16 gigabytes. If you watch my tech channel, you know that. It's getting pretty old. I just ordered a brand new one. It should be here, you know, with the RAM, 32 gigabytes of RAM. God forbid someone wants a little bit extra RAM. It's going to be here in like 2 years. But when it does come, sorry for the weird long transition. It's because this guy is having a little bit of processor problems at the moment with Fillmore 15, I think it is. So anyway, doesn't matter. Generation 1 facelift. First generation looked like this, came out in 2006, and then stayed all the way up until 2011. Alright, so here we are, let's talk about it. And because they did bother to put an engine in it, sorry, I know I'm being kind of tough on the Volkswagen EOS, but come on guys, we're used to talking about such interesting, this was essentially a lesson from me to you, that not everything in the car industry is exciting, and sometimes people just phone it in, and this was them just kind of phoning it in. I mean, no, it was a great car. I took my grandmother to physical therapy. I used to do it every 2 weeks, twice a week, every week. There was this guy, the owner, he drove a Volkswagen EOS. I rode around in it a little bit after. It was a great car. It was a fantastic, excellent car. Speaking of handling and stuff, I've actually got the spec sheet here because, again, engine. Alright, so here we are. So I've got the engine specs. You can look at them, you can zoom in. I mean, come on, remember, another word is Golf. Golf. This is a Golf. So it's got a bunch of engine variations. They're pretty mid, you know, they're okay, they're fine. I put the miles per gallon in there, the torque, the range, you know. So if you're actually interested in the engine options, you can look at that, but again, there's not a whole lot to analyze here. It is pretty good, very powerful with a 3.6 liter V6. Other than that, pretty standard, the 2.0 turbo inline four, par for the course, Volkswagen. You know, I mean, come on, who's surprised? The TDI. I mean, come on, it's fine. They're all fine engines. They're all fine engine family. It's a fine car. It's fine. You know what I mean? All right. And because this is the shortest video humanly on the planet, let's get in. And I know, because, you know, usually there's this big story. There's not. And quite frankly, it's kind of refreshing. Let's move on to the, if you want to buy it, you know, so if you don't really care, you can click off now, but we're going to look through some pamphlets, and then it's just like it's like the relaxing part after the hard work, of which I've had to do none, because, you know, I could dig for 1,000 years and try to find a story on this thing, and there's none. I mean, there's none, you know, and nothing important. I could say the name of the guy who created the car, I have all that, but the thing is, does it matter? I mean, nothing, it wasn't like Bob Hall or someone like, it's just like, oh, you know, we should take a Golf and make it a hardtop, I guess. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying here? The Volkswagen e-Golf is more remarkable than this. It doesn't mean it's bad. Just because a car is unremarkable doesn't make it bad. That's the entire running theme of this show. But what I'm saying is, it's just not that remarkable. From a technological standpoint, from an auto standpoint, it's fine. Alright, well, here we are. So, let's just start looking at the pamphlets, because, I mean, it's a lot of pamphlet. Volkswagen really does a good job with their pamphlets. So here's the year that it came out. I'm looking fine, yay! You know what I mean? Like, they're very happy, yay, how fun, look at this, 3-in-1 roof. You know what I mean? They were very happy about it. All the colors. You know, this is my favorite thing about cars like this, that were just one-time things. They didn't really care in the beginning, and they just kind of canceled it off. Ooh, zen, young people. My favorite thing about cars like this is you just get to see the effort slowly drop off. So this is a big, long manual. This is the most effort they will ever have. A barely reskinned Volkswagen Golf. And they did a lot of work with the convertible stuff and the, sunroof and stuff. They did a lot of work there. But, you know, other than that, you know, okay, you know, I'm being a little lazy. This vehicle's laziness makes me want to be lazy. They did work. They figured out the roof. They figured out the trunk. They did a lot of stuff. They reskinned it as best they can. I'm making it sound like they just took a stock Golf. But what I'm saying is, compared to the other cars, it wasn't created from scratch. It didn't define an entire era. No person like Bob Hall, which is extremely memorable, single-handedly created it. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Moving on. Now is... Sorry, it's raining a lot outside. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm trying to get more personal on the channel. It's not just because I forgot to close the window or anything and everything's getting soaked. I can actually see the steam coming off the light bulbs because I use incandescents because the LEDs hurt my eyes because the rain's coming on it. Doesn't matter. Point is, 2012, this is after they updated it. You know, more effort. They're like, oh, it didn't sell well, but this new one's going to sell well. It's got to sell well. This is great. So you see, they're all hyped up. Oh, look at this. Look at how many pages there are. Look at the LED bi-xenon headlights. Look at how cool this is. process. Look at the manufacturing plant. And then, they're excited. They're happy. Part of the Volkswagen lineup. Wait, how did the Golf Sportswagen get its own... The Jetta Sportswagen didn't get its... No, is the Jetta Sportswagen. Oh, yeah, I forgot they don't have a... Wow, they had a really... Why did they put the root on there? You don't want to advertise that thing. Moving on to 2014. The year before the year it was canceled. It's still there, but they're kind of like, it's okay. We'll reshoot the manual, I guess, and do a fun little blueprint thing. And then you see, look at how quickly that went by. And then the year it's canceled, like, we're going to cancel it. This is 2015. This is... So, they canceled it in 2015, but kept making it until 2016. So, this is technically the year before... It's very complicated. Here you go. It had a slight, here it is, yada, yada, yada. It's okay. We don't really like this car. Look at that. Look at how short that was. You can always tell, like with the Prius, every single year when the Prius comes out, I check the manual. Now, you can tell when a car company's getting... Oh, you can really hear that. You can tell when the car company's getting a bit grouchy with the car, like it's not selling, by the pamphlet and by the sales number. So I always look at the Prius pamphlet to know if they're going to cancel it or not. Luckily, they haven't so far, but I'm sure I've just jinxed it. All right, here we go. Prices. Pretty standard, $7,000. This is like Volkswagen Golf prices, maybe a little bit more. I was like their comfort with the K. Yeah. So here you go. This is a bunch of stuff. SULEV. You can see everything here. So if you're looking to purchase these used, you can expect anywhere from like $11,000 for the newer ones to $6,000 or $5,000 for the really old ones. Let's actually see, because let's see the highest mileage one of these has got. And actually, let's do lifetime. Anywhere. Switch. 170,000 miles. Compare that to like a Toyota Camry, but it's like not even my car has more miles than this thing. Are you kidding me? All right, point is, wait, let's see. Do they genuinely? Wow, it just keeps getting lower. I don't. Oh, no. Wait a minute. 210. That one has more miles than my car does. My car is like my RAV4, like 198. So, that's pretty much it. Video, you may think it was lazy. I personally think it was lazy, but you want to know what? It will make for a fantastic trio tales. So, I will see you all real soon.